Yo, the enemy's public, I gotta keep my eyes open. Pay attention, stop walking around like you blindfolded. This not the World Cup, but Nasir be kicking knowledge. This the type of information you can never learn in college. It's time to fight back, there's no more trying to play it cool. We got interviews, podcasts, and got the latest news. So sit back and relax, we about to get it started. Earth is the canvas, and guess who's the con artist? They brainwashing us, the system corrupted. You are now rocking with the enemy's public. You are now rocking with the enemy's public. I said you are now rocking with the enemy's public. Hey.
A once gold-driven, ambitious Sapphire turns to the street life after the sudden death of her big brother Dre. Dre's best friend Devontae tries to honor his homeboy's last request of looking out for his baby sister. A rebellious Sapphire makes it very difficult for Devontae to carry out his promise. Author Angela King James presents Fire. Get it on Amazon, on paperback, or Kindle. This is The Enemy's Public. I am Bro.Nasir. We're going to go over today 4 LA County Sheriff employees died by suicide in a 24-hour period. And we're going to discuss why. Now, before we get started with the subject, I want to play some music selections by my brother Dre Cobb's music.
I was reading, prepared for this interview, I was quite surprised to see you use the word Aborigines, talking about African Americans.
It comes as a big shock to discover that Gary Cooper threw off the Indians who were rooting for Gary Cooper. But the Indians were you. It comes as a great shock to discover that the country, which is your birthplace, and to which you owe your life and your identity.
Africa is not our home. Let me let that hang in the atmosphere for a while. I said at this gathering of the masters, Africa is not your home. It's not our home. But I know my roots. And I ain't Kunta Kinte.
Aborigines, which means what? Black folks.
The Child Clinic, St. Louis, Big Brother, G, my brother, keep us, the Nation Love Podcast. Salute to you all. It's going to be a quick live. Going over 4 LA County Sheriff employees died by suicide in a 24-hour period. Why?
Who they think they better than? Ain't no comparison to the so-called black, the African American. You can drop the African, keep the American. When we say Aborigine, it make their world in. I'm going in the same dirt my ancestors buried in. I come from a god and a goddess, so what that make me? Not even Basquiat can trace me. Not even Van Gogh can paint me. The MC in me is the God MC. Who's the God in me? I'm focused in, let my mind be free. You too blind to see. The Jews I give is real, it's been real. These ain't shots, they missiles. All you gonna hear is the whistle. Lyrically, this the execution. My verses start revolutions from my people seeking restitution. Since the beginning, fuck evolution. Or maybe my reality is all a dream. I put it together like I was so it seems. This is that audio dopamine. Go against the machine. We put you in, nobody can hear you scream. And singing to me to Elohim. My nigga, this is savage mode. It's something that you hate to go. It started with a spark and I'ma let it explode. I was given the cheat codes that'll let me dump and reload and go through them waves like a fucking torpedo. Magneto. You got the cards in life. I just cut them diamonds with the ace of spades. Y'all scatter like roaches when they facing raid, or vampires when they facing blade. I'm trying to get extra terrain like I'm getting played. You still stuck as a mental slave. You still stuck in that mental cage. While I'm making easy money, pimping hoes in style. This my coming to age. Crowd warm when I'm coming on stage. And when I'm done, they gonna be cheering my name. Great times and nah, I ain't quit my day job. I spit bars. I really rap on my day off. That's real shit. Just give you some tools you can build with. Aim high even if you still miss. Just keep going. It's a climb to the top, and I'ma keep flowing. Down Lake Shore, I'm Chicagoan. Yeah. You niggas playing checkers, we playing chess. And nigga, this is checkmate. Dre be the big dog, and you just a little bait. You out of Africa, and we ain't got the same traits. I'm a God being, and we ain't got the same fate. My granny died February 18th, and I was born on the same date. The chosen one, the ancestors' chosen son. They gave me the golden gun. One shot, that's a hole in one. From the pyramid of the sun, the poverty point. I don't think you niggas is getting the point. We still here. Who said they made the Aboriginals disappear? Your information's lagging in the rear. All you do is teach fear. We copper colored with will be here. Am I speaking clear? So fuck the nonsense. When I rap, I touch your consciousness. From within is when you get your self-confidence. Let's bring it back to dominance. Ain't no confining us. We'll bring that wild Indian out of us. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. We still here.
That was the good brother Dre Cobbs from his latest release from American Aborigine. If you didn't listen to it, if you didn't hear it, you're really missing out. You need to. We're going to get into the subject matter. The suicide deaths of 4 current and former Los Angeles Sheriff Department employees died by suicide over a 24-hour span have prompted a plea from Sheriff Robert Luna urging deputies to check on the well-being of their colleagues and friends. He said, "We are stunned to learn of these deaths, and it has sent shockwaves of emotions throughout the department as we try and cope with the loss of not just 1, but 4 beloved active and retired members of our department family," Luna said in an email statement Tuesday. During trying times like these, it is important for personnel, regardless of rank or position, to check on the well-being of colleagues and friends. Now, Luna also said he had deepest concern for his employees' well-being, added that the department was urgently exploring avenues to reduce work stress factors to support our employees' work and personal lives. He said the Department Homicide Bureau will investigate the deaths. If the if they committed suicide, why did the Homicide Bureau investigate the death? He said there is no indication that the deaths were related to or foul play was involved, but department sources who spoke on the condition of anonymity because of the ongoing investigation said the 3rd and 4th deaths were discovered as word of the other deaths was spreading throughout the agency. Now, peace to my brother Bronze Flat Power God. Thank you for coming up, good brother. Now, the question I ask is, why did these sheriff employees of Los Angeles commit suicide? See, in and out of the rank and file of the police departments, we have officers who try to be good officers, yet the rank and file is not necessarily good. And some of these officers who are corrupt, who go out and violate people's rights, abuse them, even murder them. There are gangs inside of the rank and file of police departments. The FBI have determined that most large police departments throughout the US were infiltrated with white supremacist groups. And they actually have gangs with tattoos of their affiliation. In particular, the county sheriff in California, LA, particularly in their rank and file, the executioners. Under Alex Villanueva, who he always denied it, yet he didn't do any type of investigation. Not only didn't he do a thorough investigation, he did no investigation, because all he had to do is address his rank and file and have them wear short sleeves. And he could have discovered everyone who was affiliated with the executionist gang inside the rank and file of LA County Sheriff. Now, most of these police departments and their rank and file and their white shirts know what's going on. But they're so loyal to that blue line of silence, and those who dare cross that blue line will end up like the detective in Baltimore when he was scheduled to testify against police officers. He ended up dead the night before he was supposed to testify, but they said there was a mere coincidence that he ended up getting shot up and his partner allowed it to happen. They said it's a mere coincidence. That's what the police director said when he was speaking about the incident. Now, I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show videos pertaining to this subject matter.
And some tragic news from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. We have learned that 4 employees of the department have died by suicide in the last 48 hours. The Sheriff's Department says 3 were active members of the department. 1 was retired. Sheriff Robert Luna issued a statement this afternoon saying, in part, during trying times like these, it's important for personnel, regardless of rank or position, to check on the well-being of other colleagues and friends. I have the deepest concern for our employees' well-being, and we are urgently exploring avenues to reduce work stress factors to support our employees' work and personal lives. And if you or someone you know is struggling with suicidal thoughts, there are ways you can get help. Just call or text the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988 at any time.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great ABC7 content by clicking the subscribe button for...
I have a few videos about this. I'm going to go to
the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department is in more.
And also I'm going to go to the possibility of why some of these officers commit suicide. I'm just going to show some of the videos and give a narrative of what possibly could have happened that will cause them to take their own life.
Morning following recent deaths by current and former employees who took their own lives. Eyewitness News reporter Carlos Granda talked to Sheriff Robert Luna today.
It's a brotherhood and sisterhood at the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. So any loss is tragic. It's emotional.
LA County Sheriff Robert Luna says the department is in pain after 4 of their own died by suicide in just a 24-hour period. They happened between Monday and Tuesday. The department says 3 were active members of the agency and 1 was retired.
If you're not okay, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to say you're not okay.
The Sheriff's Department says 9 current or former employees have died by suicide so far this year. Studies show that across the country, more officers die from suicide than killed in the line of duty. Data going back to 2018.
So, if more officers die by suicide than killed in the line of duty, why are they so afraid, or why do they use the narrative that they fear for their life when they encounter a civilian? They should be looking at each other if that's the case. If the number one cause of death by a cop is a cop, then the main threat is a cop to himself.
Shows the pattern. Just last year, according to the FBI, 118 officers died in the line of duty. Blue Help, which is a nonprofit that collects data on law enforcement suicides, estimated 161 suicides that same year. Laura Linder is the founder of Exclusively First Responders, which tries to create awareness about mental health issues for law enforcement.
They're overworked, but mostly the mental health that happens to them based on, the traumas that they're seeing on a daily basis. They're human. They're going to have effect. That's going to affect them.
The department is looking at all of these cases and so far do not appear to be connected. The sheriff agrees the department, which is the largest in the nation, doesn't have enough deputies.
As we dissect each one of them, I'm not saying that all of them are the same. We look for patterns, but we have a staffing crisis with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. We are shorthanded well over 1,000 deputies.
I'm Carlos Granda, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
And a reminder, you can always get help from the suicide.
Now we're going to go to why are cops committing suicide? Someone going to try to explain that. Why are police officers committing suicide? Again, the number one cause of death of police officers are them eating.
For the 3rd year in a row, the number of police officers who have died by suicide is greater than the number who've died in the line of duty. This year alone, 192 people took their own lives. Law enforcement leaders say this is a mental health crisis that we need to talk about now. And the commissioner of the New York City Police Department has decided to take action and roll out new initiatives in hopes of curbing this heartbreaking trend. Earlier this week, the commissioner, James O'Neill, announced.
Thank you to my brother, Keith West. Salute to you, brother. Thanks for coming up, and thank you for putting the fair use clause in the chat.
Announced that he is stepping down. He is here with us today. Commissioner, thank you so much for joining us. When I heard your announcement that you would be resigning after 4 decades, right? It's 4 decades?
37 years.
37 years. And I thought to myself, 37 years, he's seen a lot. Did the number of officers who are taking their lives have an impact in his decision to resign? Did it have anything to do with it?
No, not directly. I have a great job being the commissioner of what I think is the best police department in the world. It's great. I've been a police officer for a long time. I know I'm the commissioner now, but I can still consider myself a cop. There's a lot of heartache for everybody, but I know why people become cops, and they become cops to make a difference and to do good. And we're not all perfect.
Well, you're
majority
human.
Of them, yeah,
you're human.
We recruit from the human.
That's probably why you became a cop, yet I doubt that seriously. But police officers, a lot of them, most of them, do not become police officers to make a difference. They make a difference, all right? They love the perceived power. They love the adrenaline. They love carrying the weapons. Because if you look at the behavior of most of them, it's overwhelming evidence. If you look at the behavior of most of them, you can clearly see that they didn't take the job to help people.
the human race.
Yeah, that's your only option.
Right, that's it. That's
That
it.
is the only option. But there have been criticisms that, some of the officers in the police union feel that initiatives and decisions you made their job more difficult, that you were soft on crime, that some of the decisions made within the upper ranks hurt the lower ranks.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly disagree with that. If you take a look at where I've worked and what all the people on my executive staff, all the 3-star chiefs, they've all been precinct commanders. We've all come up through the ranks. I started as a transit cop back in 1983 when the subways were not like the subways today.
Some believe the officers don't feel as appreciated and supported by the community.
And Tamarin, the police officer being unappreciated and the hate that people have for police officers, there's no shadow of a doubt that they earn the hate that they receive by their behavior.
I know here in New York, there was an article that pointed to the death of Eric Garner, and that officers felt that those of them on the street were being abused by the communities. You said something very pointed. You ingrained and put yourself into the community to build that relationship. Is this a part of why we're seeing the suicides, that the people don't feel connected to the police and the police don't feel connected to the community?
I would say no. A lot of police officers would, and when they're discovered, when they're uncovered to being corrupt, a lot of them cannot take what they dish out. They put people in jail, they put people in prison, and a lot of times they put people in prison for absolutely nothing. But when it's their turn to be prosecuted for their violation of oath and taking people's lives at some times, they would rather be dead than to face the same jury that they send some of our people to, and people in general to. Now, they had the top cop in the neighboring county where I live in New Jersey. He was crooked as scoliosis. And to the point that I don't know if anybody in the listening audience know who Isaac Wright is. They made the series For Life based on his story. It didn't happen in New York, it happened in New Jersey. Now, Isaac Wright was set up by Nicholas Bissell, who was top cop in Somerset County in New Jersey. He was setting people up. He had police officers, judges, everybody scared of him. He was top cop, and he set Isaac up, but Isaac ended up doing life in prison. But the tables were turned when Isaac learned the law and became a prison lawyer, and he started the Innocence Program, and he was getting inmates released. Nicholas Bissell received, he refused to give Isaac Wright his discovery. He had to fight for years just to get his discovery on why he was in prison in the first place. And when he did get his discovery, the tables turned. And Isaac Wright, when he questioned, basically interrogated a Franklin Township, Somerset County, New Jersey police officer, the police officer broke down and told it all. Everyone who was involved in Isaac Wright's case went to prison. Judges, police officers, the top cop of that county, the prosecutor, Nicholas Bissell, he was going to do life in prison. His first charge, he got 10 years from. He ended up flying to Vegas and killing himself.
So we've had 10 suicides in the NYPD so far this year.
This year alone.
This year alone. A friend of mine, Steve Silks, took his own life in June. He was a one-star chief that was facing retirement. And right after that, there are almost 6 right in a row. And each time.
Now, when these cops become old and they face retirement and that perceived power is no longer theirs and they become a civilian, it traumatized them. They can't take going back to being a civilian. So a lot of them can't deal with not being a cop. Some of them be a cop so long, they can't deal with not being a cop if they're into that position and that lifestyle and that so-called brotherhood so long.
An officer takes his own life. We take a look at it. We do an
Peace
investigation
to the brother.
to see what led up to
Hurricane.
that, to see what the
Peace to
background
St.
was.
Louis.
Was it professional? Was it personal? And each and every one of them is different. Being a cop is a hard job. There's a lot of stresses, but as I said before, we're human beings. We have families, we have financial pressures, we have relationship pressures. There's a lot going on in our lives, just as with everybody else.
Which is, this past weekend, an NYPD officer was found with a gun in his mouth. Thankfully, other officers helped him. But you make a great point again. It's not a one reason problem. There are many reasons why these officers have taken their lives. There's not one single answer to this.
No, there isn't, and that's why it's got to be all of us. It's got to be all New Yorkers. It's got to be everybody in the NYPD. It's got to be family. It's got to be partners. If there's something that doesn't look right, if somebody's starting to act differently, and I know you're going to have other people on this show, we have a duty, a responsibility to let if somebody's approaching crisis or in crisis, I think it's almost impossible for them to get help.
Now, what he said is true, yet cliche, because I've seen people call the police when someone is threatening to kill themselves. I've seen police call to mental illness situations. They don't help the person. See, the police are unqualified to help anyone in crisis. They're unqualified. Because the police, in my honest, emphatically total opinion, are mindless robot soldiers. That's who they are. They are race soldiers who have no mental capacity when it comes to dealing with humanity. So if you call the police when somebody's about to commit suicide, you would be really lucky if they don't come and finish the job for that person. If you call the police when it comes to mental illness, you will be lucky if your loved one is not shot and killed. That's how it goes. So don't call the police. Call a qualified person who deals with mental illness, and call somebody who deals with suicide prevention. Now we're going to go to police department seeing tragedies rise in their office.
The job of a police officer is often dangerous, risking their own lives to protect citizens. But what happens when officers are...
Now, that's a cliche statement. Some of them do risk their lives. Some do. But not to the point that they can be seen as heroes, because officers, most times when they encounter people, is all about police safety. And officer safety is cowardice to me, but public safety, that's heroism. And most of them are more concerned about officer safety than public safety. But they call themselves law enforcement. They call themselves public safety, but the only people who they really save is themselves when it comes to dealing with someone in crisis. I've seen people I've seen people with cameras get arrested because the cop said he was scared of the camera. And you get scared of getting caught in your corruption, which is why some of them take their lives.
Or off the clock.
Tonight, the department is mourning the death of one of their own. A precinct commander and 21-year veteran has taken his own life.
An alarming number of officers are committing suicide. According to Blue Help, between 2019 and 2020, more than 470 police officers committed suicide. So far this year, 61 officers have taken their own lives.
The thing is, you know, an officer never really takes off his uniform. They can't always just shut it down and go home.
Karen Solomon is the co-founder of Blue Help, the first and only organization that tracks law enforcement suicide, also providing support for families of those who have lost loved ones to suicide, and offering suicide prevention training.
You're going to have that leftover stress of someone got in their face tonight, or
some of these officers can't deal with what they've done. Some of these officers can't deal with what they've seen. And a lot of these officers, when they try to do the right thing, they're threatened by fellow officers. When a cop try to be a good cop, the other cops ostracize them and would not answer calls, you know, that they're in, leave them out to be harmed. And a lot of these cops can't take it. So they end up killing themselves.
Or they saw somebody dead tonight, or they resuscitated somebody and saved their life. So all of that stuff intermingles in their life, and it's always touching each other. It's always touching their personal life and their work life.
The New York Police Department has seen some of the highest rates of suicide in the nation. The NYPD says the suicide rate among uniformed officers is more than double that of the general population. In the last 3 years, 16 New York police officers have died by suicide.
See, there's a stigma that over the years, if you go and talk to somebody, if you go to a supervisor, if you go to a medical doctor who's a police officer or a police surgeon, you're going to get your gun and shield taken away. Well, that
is the part that the officers fear. When they're going through crises, mental health illnesses, they don't want to go to their supervisor because they're afraid they're going to be desked and their shield and their gun, which is their power, will be taken from them. A lot of them would rather die than have that taken from them.
They're superpowers. That's what makes them worth something in life. And if you take that away, now you get looked at like, wait a minute, what's wrong with that person?
Michael Ameri was a highway inspector for the NYPD. Ameri was responsible for hundreds of officers in his unit. In May of 2016, he took his own life.
He was great. I mean, he loved life. He didn't have any issues that we were aware of. There was no mental illness or any other issues as far as we know. And then all of a sudden, I spoke to him the night before. We were making arrangements to go on vacation. We were picking out dates on the calendar.
According to Blue Help, the main areas of stress impacting police include everyday pressures of the job, financial hardships, feelings of being alone, and what's become a growing concern among officers, negative sentiment.
Pardon the technical difficulty.
Is really tremendous, and it's mind-boggling. I've never seen anything like it. What we're doing to them based on a job that they do is sensational, and it's damaging.
While the number of active duty officers committing suicide is alarming, the number of retired officers taking their lives is just as concerning, and in many cases, underreported. At least 102 retired officers have died by suicide since 2018, according to Blue Help.
The second you leave, the second you put it to bed, the curtains close, who am I? They don't even know who they are.
And when you take that away so suddenly, it can be very difficult. Some officers do lose their sense of self, their sense of purpose. They feel like they don't have anything without their job.
Some who have lost an officer to suicide say they too should be honored.
How I look at it is he died in the line of duty, and although they don't treat the police officers when they die by suicide as if they died in the line of duty, he should have had the same honor and respect as someone who died in the line of duty, because ultimately the job killed him in the end. That's how I look at it. I'm a big police supporter, but I believe that this job killed him in some way, shape, or form. This job killed him, and anybody that dies by suicide as a police officer, I believe, is died in the line of duty.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking.
Brother, you know how we feel about that, Big Dog Philly OJ. You know what our song is, brother.
After our first story aired on the 4 suicides within 24 hours, several deputies reached out to me privately, but they would not go on camera because they're afraid of losing their jobs. The gentleman you're about to hear from, at this point, has nothing to lose.
It's heartbreaking to see these people that I used to work with take their lives for just ridiculousness that's going on within the department.
Soren Prime is speaking out in hopes of helping the LA County Sheriff's deputies who would like to, but can't.
Anybody that speaks up about anything that's wrong within the department will be met with retaliation no matter what.
You mean like the gang that's in the police department, in your department, you know, under the direction of Alex Villanueva? I know Luna's there now, but Alex Villanueva just left about a year or so ago. You mean if someone blows the whistle about the executioner's gang in the rank and file of the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department?
Hands down.
Soren used to be a proud LA County deputy sheriff until the workload simply became too much.
I will work 6 days a week, 16, 18-hour shifts. And that leaves us with really no time to do anything. The majority of the other partners that I worked with will work even more than that. They'll have 0 days off, sometimes 2-3 weeks in a row, sometimes a month.
When Soren expressed to his superiors that he was starting to suffer from depression and anxiety, he says no one cared.
They literally gave me more hours. They told me, you signed up for this job. You don't belong here as a deputy sheriff.
Learning about the recent 4 deputy suicides angered Soren enough to go public. He says there are many other suicides we never hear about.
You just, you ask, hey, whatever happened.
If they are working these cops 16 hours a day, 6 days a week, whoever's in charge, whoever making the schedule, need to be arrested, him damn self or her damn self, and be put in jail.
What happened to Deputy so-and-so? And the common thing to say is, oh, they ate their gun. And we're like, what? How is that possible? We just saw him yesterday. And, they just shrug it off and we go online, we check the news, nothing.
Perhaps that is why someone in the department has been sending anonymous letters to citizens. This one states, things cannot continue the way they are. We work multiple overtime shifts a week, often only getting a couple of hours of sleep between continuous double shifts.
This is the 3rd anonymous letter to the community. What are your thoughts on that?
And they're asking for help in any way that they can.
Soren says,
now, they send letters to the community. I can't imagine the community giving a damn about this. Only a chosen few. The few that families not being victimized by these guys will probably give a damn. But I can't imagine anybody giving a damn about their grievances based on their behavior when they encounter them. Now they are probably frustrated because of it, but that's no excuse. That should be taken out on the ones who sent you out here for 16 hours, 6 days a week, not allowing you to be with your family, not allowing you to sleep or do anything outside of that department. That should be taken out on who sent you out there, not the community. But they ask the community for help. When they empower themselves and have this us against them attitude against us, but now they want our help. And when we sue them for abusing or killing one of our loved ones, it don't come out their budget. It comes out the city's budget or the state's budget or the federal's budget. Nah, we good here.
Says he was forced out of the department in December.
I've worked so hard, and for it to really end like this is just it's heartbreaking.
But he says he doesn't need the uniform to do the right thing for his former fellow deputies.
The Los Angeles Sheriff's Department needs help. We swore an oath to look after everyone there in the county, to uphold the amendments, to protect the innocent. But what about us?
Sheriff Robert Luna issued a long statement that says in part, the persistent staffing shortage throughout the years, contractual obligations in the jails and contract cities, and mandatory overtime cannot continue at the detriment of our personnel. My executive team is reviewing our commitments to find additional resources to relieve staffing shortages and support the service we provide to LA County residents. Now, Alex, Christine, this is
Gonna go on to another video.
Now to a bizarre and disturbing story out of Los Angeles. In a 24-hour span this week, 4 current and former LA Sheriff's Department employees died by suicide. Now, as someone who supports law enforcement, this is stunning, it's disturbing, it's tragic, and it is deserving of a lot more attention as well as action. On Monday morning, a well-known high-ranking department commander, Darren Harris, was found dead in his Santa Clarita home, the victim of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Harris was a recognizable figure in law enforcement and the media, as he served as a chief department spokesperson for a large part of his 25-year career. Then, just a few hours later, sometime after noon on Monday, the same day, the body of retired Sergeant Greg Hovland was found in his Quartz Hill, Los Angeles home. 2 more current LA County Sheriff's employees whose names have not yet been released were then found, one around sunset on Monday in Stevenson Ranch, the other at 7:30 a.m. Tuesday morning in a hospital in Pomona, both also by suicide. What makes this also hard to believe is that it appears as though the suicides were not connected. According to an agency spokesperson, there have actually been 9 suicides just this calendar year among LA Sheriff's Department employees. When you combine active and non-active duty, it all seems to be part of a disturbing national trend that is moving in the wrong direction. According to research by Boston University, 116 officers in the U.S. died by suicide in 2020, which, by the way, outnumbered the amount who died in the line of duty. The number of suicides grew by 23% in 2021. To 150. Now, we've talked about the lack of respect our officers often get, the public scrutiny, the inherent anxiety with the job. But 9 people in...
Now, what about Christopher Dorner? Christopher Dorner was a former officer of the Los Angeles Police Department. Now, they said he began on February 3rd, 2013, committing a series of revenge killings of the LAPD, Orange County, Los Angeles County, Riverside, and San Bernardino. You know, he said the victims were law enforcement officers and the daughter of a retired police captain. Said Dorner killed 4 people and wounded 3 others. Now, they killed Dorner on the 13th of February of 2013. After a shootout in San Bernardino. Now, what happened with Christopher Dorner was reporting police abuse to his upper ranks. Christopher Dorner seen cops doing corrupt activities and was reporting that. So they did everything I said that they would do. If you attempt to be a good cop, if you attempt to be what you want people to perceive you as, they ostracize you, they put your name out as a bad person, they corrupt you, make you look like the corrupt cop, and then they retaliate against you. See, Christopher Dorner ended up being fired for what he did as far as the reporting the corrupt cops to his constituents. And he ended up taking it out on the ones who set him up. Respect to Jewel 512. Thank you for coming through here. Appreciate that. Peace and power to my brother Key Norfolk. How you doing, good brother?
Peace and power, good brother.
Peace and power. How you doing, brother?
Hey man, I can't complain, good brother. Thank you for letting me up, man. Salutes.
Appreciate you coming up, brother. Yeah, you want to tap in real quick before I go back to the video?
I mean, you know, in my from just based off the information that I've seen so far, you know, it kind of steers my thinking toward, you know, maybe it's more than suicide, and maybe that's the reason that they're even having a homicide investigated in the first place.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yeah, they do lie, brother. You know what? That's something to even consider, brother, what you just said. It could be written off as a suicide. It's not necessarily that. Because you know they always investigate themselves, brother, and find no wrongdoing.
Facts. Facts, man. It's just crazy that in less than 48 hours, 4 of those officers, you know, committed suicide, unless they was all caught up in something together. But I still don't see them all. It's a lot of people who attempt to kill themselves. They want to, but you got to be real brave. That's like 1 in every 1,000 people that's even able to do that. You know what I mean? So that's not even logically correct.
Yeah, and then they said none of the suicides are connected to each other. That could be an outright lie also. You know, they always, you know, create the narrative and put the narrative out there, you know, but, you know, for the sake of argument, I'm just going to, you know, say alleged suicides, you know, because we really don't know what happened. All we know is what we're being told by state-sponsored news.
Right. You know, not to disrespect anyone, man. It's always sad to hear that anyone lose their life. You know, that's the ultimate price. So, you know, I don't want to hear that from nobody, you know, that ain't tried to kill me. I don't want to reciprocate that energy toward anyone. But, you know, we have to think about, like you said, who's giving us the information. You know, have we been able to align with the information that we've gotten from these people in the past? We've never been able to get information with this information so that it's plausible for us. You know what I mean? Is for it to be a step for us to be liberated or to be safe and secure. It's always been backwards. So, you know, and it's them that's giving us this notion that we have to look at this like this. It's sad to say, but it's true. Salute, OG.
That's true. Salute to the good brother, Big Dog Fully OG. You know, like I said, they they have internal affairs and they investigate themselves. And a lot of times they find no wrongdoing. That's why there's a need for a civilian review board, civilians that review the police departments and decide that if they want to keep those cops, they keep them as civilians, because if the civilians' tax dollars are paying them, they should be the ones who decide whether they stay on the force or not. Jersey City has a police director who's a civilian, not even a cop. And it's a female, a sister. And that's how it should be.
I'm with you on that 100%. Shout out to Jules out there in the chat. Salute.
Shout out to Big Dog Philly OG. Thank you for coming up, brother. You want to tap in real quick?
Yeah, Grand Rising, brother. Much love and respect to you and the family, enemies, public key, everybody in the chat. You know, I just think it's real ingenuous what they're doing, because what they should be saying, if it's these people are committing suicide, why isn't they saying the military personnel isn't committing suicide? They just concentrating on the police officers. You see what I'm saying? And the military is doing the same job. We always at war. They should be saying veterans are committing more suicide, not just police. It's like they're giving the police a way out.
Yes.
Go ahead, brother.
I mean, that's the truth. And they're over-reporting one and under-reporting the other. That's what they're doing. And like I said, it's always lopsided and it's always biased, brother, when they open their mouth and attempt to report something. If nobody have anything further, I'm going to go back to the video.
Okay, that's cool.
In one department, 4 in one day? It is absolutely heartbreaking. Joining us now is Alex Villanueva, the former Los Angeles sheriff. Thank you very much for coming on the program.
This is the wicked demon. Behold him, the wicked demon to the right that I was speaking about earlier, who used to be the sheriff in Los Angeles. And he denied that a gang existed in LA County. The executioners, they were all under his tutelage as a commander.
Appreciate it. Obviously, a horrible week for your former department. What do you make of what's going on?
Well, you know what? There's a lot of things that are going on at the same time, and probably one of the common themes across all the organization is the sheer lack of manpower, low morale, and the effects of the defunding and the hiring freeze that was imposed by the Board of Supervisors back in 2020. All those chickens have come home to roost. There's more than 1,400 deputies missing on the department, and the sheer workload that each deputy faces is just mind-boggling.
Chickens did not come home to roost yet, because if half of the police on the police departments did their job, the other half would be in jail.
They're doing 16-hour shifts back to back to back. And this is all month long. They even raised the cap of overtime you can work to 120 hours a month. Remember, that's 120 hours on top of your normal shift on a very difficult job to begin with. And that is just one of the stressors. And each person is going to have their individual, obviously, rationale that they make that ultimate tragic choice. But you cannot ignore the obvious elephant in the room here.
And this is not just about Los Angeles. I mean, it's sort of hard to believe, right, that 4 people connected to the sheriff's department in a day all took their own lives. But this is a kind of a national issue, right?
Oh, it is. I mean, the toll on law enforcement as a profession, the efforts by politicians to demonize, dehumanize, delegitimize the function of law enforcement in a peaceful society is taking its toll, because now a lot of cops, you know, the identity goes along with their profession too.
Now, I know I'm giving this information out. I'm presenting this information. And I'm going to be completely honest, it's hard for me to give a damn about them because of what they do and get away with all over the United States. It's hard for me to care about that. This is just, they say it's disturbing. What's disturbing is shooting at somebody 90 times. What's disturbing is beating on a man. You caught him, he was speeding, and when you caught up to him, you pull him out the car and you beat the hell out of him. That's disturbing. Now, a cop who have this perceived power, he have all the weapons on his duty belt, and he got the law behind him. And a lot of them are corrupt. That power, that perceived power, it corrupts. And when they do the things that they do to people under the guise of being this so-called hero, peace to my brother, Executive Sessions, it's hard for me to give a damn about them. Whether they get the hate they earn or they exercise some extreme self-hate. I don't give a damn.
Yep, a big extent. And then when you take it out from under them, a lot of them are left with really very troubling times, you know, in terms of their mental health.
What can we do? I mean, look, people ask me, I host a live police show called On Patrol Live, where we follow police departments in real time. And people often ask me, you know, what do you think we can do to make people appreciate what officers do every day? And my answer is, you got to watch what they do. You want to go on a ride along, go on a ride along. You want to watch.
See, that's bullshit, because when people show up with their cameras, watching what they do, recording what they do, their rights are violated. Their constitutionally protected rights are violated. This guy saying, watch the police. And you see Alex Villanueva's face when he said, watch them. They don't want to be watched. If you get watched, you get caught doing what they do. Any of you brothers want the video to stop, just tell me and I will.
To watch our show to see what officers deal with every day. But part of it is just the little stuff.
Big facts,
People don't realize, and you tell me if I'm wrong on this, even when you see police officers on the street thanking them for doing what they do. You know, I know that a lot of the cops sort of look tough and they'll nod or whatever, but I've got to believe even the little things, the little shows of appreciation from the community go a long way.
Big.
Again, the hate that they receive, the unappreciated gesture, they earn it.
Go a very long way. You're right on the money there. A simple thank you, a nod, a hello, and a stop and just thank them for what.
Thank you for the knot on my damn head. These people out their damn mind. Thank you for beating my cousin. Thank you for unlawfully arresting my family member, my friend. I think not.
What they do, even going to the station when you know something
Salute to the good brother
happened in a
talking
particular
media.
sheriff station. Hey, just stop by,
He's
drop
vegan,
a
salute
card,
to
or
the brother.
maybe bake some cookies. Any kind gesture that tells them that you care. And at the same time, voters need to start holding politicians accountable for demonizing law enforcement and trying to discredit them at every turn as their, you know, their shtick to get reelected.
Yeah.
Now, demonizing law enforcement as if we're not seeing what we see all over the nation. We have auditors who show up to police calls and record them. They're abused, they're unlawfully arrested. Some of them are hurt. And their own body camera show us them planting drugs on people. And when police officers attempt to intervene, when a cop do something that's inconsistent to their departmental, policy, they get grabbed by the throat, they get retaliated against, they get ostracized. Now, I've seen women cops intervene and they get snatched up, they get hemmed up. And other cops watch this cop who's losing his cool do what he do to a fellow officer, and none of them snatch him off her because he's their sergeant. But they want us to bake cookies for the people that abuse us. This dude is out of his damn mind.
Alex Villanueva, thanks so much for coming on the program. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.
Now we're going to go to the behavior.
You have to understand that people who...
We're going to go to a behavior of a cop who was caught sharing his sentiment, his true sentiment, while on the job.
think like that, who have a heavy remorse after the facts, right? They don't usually last in law enforcement.
A California police officer sends multiple text messages denigrating black people, and they come to light after he shoots a black man. We talked to former police sergeant Derek Levasseur about what the messages mean for the ongoing lawsuit against the city and why issues like this need to be addressed in the public eye. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. This is a really terrible story that you never want to hear. A police officer in San Jose, California, who was involved in a controversial shooting last year, is now off the job after all of these highly racist text messages have come out. So going back to March of 2022, downtown San Jose, it's reported that this massive fight breaks out at this restaurant, a taqueria, and officers respond. And then Officer Mark McNamara, who is white, shoots 20-year-old football player Keon Green, who is black. Green had been holding a gun. Now, after being shot 4 times, luckily Green survived. And it turns out that Green wasn't even the aggressor. No, the investigation revealed that he had actually disarmed a person at this restaurant who was drunk and had a gun, wanted to fight Green. So he disarms him, walks outside, and officers scream for Green to put the gun down, and then he gets shot by McNamara. Now, Green ends up filing a federal lawsuit against McNamara, the police department, the city, saying that he...
Of course, in the mind of this racist pig, that if there's a disturbance, the black guy is the root of it. That's his mindset. And also, that's how they're trained.
That he didn't have time to follow the officer's instructions before McNamara started shooting, and that McNamara used excessive force. Green was actually a standout high school football player who was playing in college as well. He had hopes of someday entering the NFL, but given his injuries, that has been put into question. Now, the department's police chief, this is what we want to talk about, Anthony Mata.
If that's put into question, he should be paid all the money he would have made in the NFL.
Says that McNamara was being investigated by Internal Affairs on an unrelated matter, and that is when they discovered a trove of text messages that the chief has described as disgusting, and as you will hear, they are. And they were discovered, and these texts arguably show racial bias. And now McNamara has resigned from the department. I want to get into what he allegedly wrote, but to do that, let me bring in a special guest. We're joined right now, might have recognized him, the big winner from Big Brother, Derek Levasseur, private investigator, former police sergeant, detective, founder of Break Investigative Group, author of The Undercover Edge, and host of Crime Weekly Pod and Detective Perspective, joins us now. Derek, good to see you. I mean, you have a nicer background than me. I should have second-guessed this interview now that I'm looking at it, but gosh, looks fantastic in the back.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you're bringing out a pro here. I'm in your world. I'm a YouTuber too, man. I'm out there. So we gotta look professional. And I'm never gonna escape the Big Brother thing. 10 years later, it's still following me.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a good claim to fame.
No, I'm glad to be here. I wish it was under better circumstances.
I do too, because here's the thing. I'm going to go through this. I want to give a warning to everybody. This is not easy for me to read. Okay, I'm saying that right now, and I'm going to bleep out a lot of this stuff, but it's important to go through it. So There are these text messages where McNamara seemingly references the shooting. In a message dated the day after the shooting, McNamara allegedly writes, N-word wanted to carry a gun in the Wild West. Not on my watch. Another message said, just out here clapping fools. Green's lawyer has said that that is a slang term for shooting gangsters. McNamara also allegedly wrote, I hate black people. And then during the time when he was being interviewed by the city attorney, McNamara texted, I'm white, he's black, he's going to win. It's basically a kangaroo court. What do you make of that, Derek?
It's terrible. It's terrible. As a former police officer, it's not only a stain on the San Jose Police Department, but law enforcement in general. And we're constantly fighting this battle every day to try and gain back the trust of the community. And instances like this do not help that situation. But
yeah, brother, Executive Sessions. Yeah, you're right, brother. I share that same sentiment, brother. We did think that was normal, and a lot of us, we don't got this. Some of our people don't have the fight in them to fight. And if either you fight when the fight is going on, when you're being aggressed violently, or you fight in the court. Me, put your hands on me. I'm getting mine right there.
To go back to what we're originally here to talk about with this shooting, I've been in a shooting, and in that moment, it's a split-second decision, and it's not a lot of training that goes into it. It's a lot of who you are as a person and what you believe and what experiences you've had in life. And
now, this cop, he, after learning that he disarmed somebody and took the gun and prevented other people from being injured or killed, instead of him being held as a hero, the cop find it hard to believe that he disarmed someone and was attempting to give the gun to the authorities. So after all of that, he's still on social media talking about he wants to carry a gun, not on his watch. He's out here capping fools like he's some thug. The young brother was in college and an athlete and was just hanging out like everybody else. And this dude reduced him down to a damn gangbanger.
And to say that McNamara's preconceived notions about a particular race, his biases, could have played a role in his decision to pull the trigger is completely fair. It's absolutely fair. And I think that Green's attorney has a great argument against him. I think McNamara's got some big issues going forward, and they're probably going to get a big payout at the end of all this.
Hey there, everybody. I want to talk to you right now about Palm, which is the next generation of pepper spray. You see, Palm's formula provides you with the necessary range and capacity.
I want to move on to the next video. I don't want to stay on that one.
I told you many times to put it down.
Officers believe that they can do whatever they want, and so they do it. But what happens when the people they harass decide to take action? Here are 4 cases when citizens destroy corrupt cops. Starting with 26-year-old Zaid Atkinson, a college student who on the 1st of March 2019 was confronted by Officer John.
Brother, let me know if you want to tap in. Just tell me. Can you hear me, brother?
Yes, sir. I'm still with you, good brother.
Smiley, a 14-year veteran with Boulder Police, as he was picking up trash outside his home.
I couldn't help but notice you just sitting on the patio out there. What's that? I couldn't help but notice you sitting on the patio behind this building. Yeah. And there's signs for no trespassing, private property, that kind of thing. Yeah, I wasn't sure what you were doing, if you lived here or you worked here. Yeah, it looks like you're working, doing something, picking stuff up. Okay, gotcha. What's the actual address then?
He see the man working and began an investigation and interrogation. And he's asking the man, what's the address, trying to trip him up.
Okay, what unit are you in?
I don't think I have to actually tell you that.
Well, I'm just checking to make sure that you have a right to be here, that's all.
I just told you I lived here.
Okay.
I told you that I'm working as well.
Okay.
Should that be enough for you?
Well, I got to verify it just so I know that you do in fact live here.
What do you need from me?
If you have an ID with your address on it, that'd be great.
As soon as the interaction starts, we can see Officer Smiley asking whether Atkinson lives on the property and then asking for identification. Atkinson gave Smiley his student identification showing certain annoyance, but the officer was not satisfied because the card didn't show his home address, and he didn't believe him.
Do you have anything with your address on it?
No, look, man. Here, why don't you follow
Just
me
relax.
and I'll just fucking leave the building, dude.
Just chill out, man.
Dude, this is ridiculous.
I'm just asking you if you have something with your address on it, then that would help me.
No, I don't. How am I supposed to have something with my address
Well,
on it?
a lot of people have a driver's license.
They just carry something with their address on it?
Yeah, an ID.
It's ridiculous, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't know the executive sessions. That's good information. I'm going to have to do my investigation on that, brother.
So, Mr. Atkinson, can I get your date of birth, please?
Why?
I just need to verify who you are, that you belong here, that you have a right to be here. Okay?
Are you kidding me, man?
Can you have a seat, please?
No, no,
Mr. Atkinson.
no. No, I'm not.
290 Cook 12. Can you please have a seat?
Now, he's on this man's job doing that under the guise of doing his job. This man's at work. He's stopping him from doing his job.
That's crazy, man.
Put that down.
He should have just told him, man.
Stop.
Having provided his ID, Atkinson even suggests that Smiley escort him to the building to confirm, but the officer ignores him and continues to question him. The frustrated 26-year-old simply stopped listening to the officer and instead continued walking around the residence, just picking up trash.
Mr. Atkinson, right now you're obstructing a police officer, which is a jailable offense. I'm asking you one more time to sit down.
I'm not doing anything wrong. And you're not going to arrest me. You're not going to do anything. Because I live here. And I didn't do anything wrong.
Last chance, sir.
For what?
Have a seat.
For what?
Sit down. Right now I'm detaining you and investigating you for a trespass.
I fucking live here, dumbass.
Sit down. Sit down.
At this point, the situation has become hostile, and Atkinson instead decides just to keep picking up trash whilst arguing with Smiley, who kept following him until they reached the rear of the building, where Smiley showed the kind of police officer he is.
You have a dangerous object in your hand and you're failing to put it down.
I'm picking up trash.
Put it down. You're being detained.
At this time, he put his hand on his weapon and saying that he has a dangerous object in his hand. One of the, it's not a pick. It's one of these mechanisms that you pick garbage up with. You squeeze it and it has like tongues on the end of it and you pick up garbage with it. He deemed that dangerous so he can justify putting his hand on his weapon. These demons earn the hate that they receive.
Your hand is on your weapon and you're going to shoot me? That's what you're going to do, officer?
290, we're still behind 23,
on his
33.
property for picking up trash. That's what you're going to do, officer?
Sit down, sir.
Why don't you use your brain?
I asked you several times.
Use your intelligence. Are you going to kill me?
Several times I've asked you.
Your hand is on your weapon.
Yes, it is. I threatened because
It's all about perceived power and compliance. They want you to do what they tell you to do, no matter how illogical it is. Just do what I tell you. And they also have that in their narrative. Just do what they tell you. Or they say, this is the deal, or let's make this easy. Never make it easy for them devils to violate your rights.
you're not putting that down. Yes, it is.
I'm picking up trash.
Put it down. I told you many times to put it down.
And you're holding a gun.
Put it down.
And you're holding a gun.
Sir, put it down.
And you're holding a gun. You're not going to get away with murder. You're not. Not today.
290, it's going to be a wrap.
You're not going to get away with murder.
Sit down.
I'm not sitting down.
Look, I don't want this to go any further, but you need to comply with my orders.
I don't have a weapon.
That's a weapon.
This is a...
You heard what he said? You have to comply with my words. That's what this is all about. Compliance. Wanting somebody
bro.
to do what he tell them to do.
Bucket. No, that's a weapon.
This is a clamper for picking up garbage, sir.
Put it down. I'm telling you, I'm threatened
It's
by
not
it.
a weapon. You're not threatened. I'm threatened. You have a fucking gun that kills people. How am I supposed to kill someone?
Sit down, sir.
Dude, no. Keep that.
Sit down.
He's got a gun in his hand.
Without any type of justification, as is clearly seen in the body cam footage, Officer Smiley stupidly declares he feels threatened by the trash picker Atkinson carries and decides to pull out his gun. Pulling out a gun during an argument is sure to make just about anybody feel frightened, especially if you're being racially profiled. And if you thought things would ease when more reasonable and emphatic officers arrived a few minutes later and explained to Smiley that what he was doing was wrong, well, you're absolutely wrong about that.
He's got a gun.
Sit down.
He's got a gun.
Have a seat.
He's got a gun.
Sit down.
Gun. What do you mean? This is not.
Here come assistance to the idiocy.
290, we're still giving them verbal commands, trying to get him to comply. Sit down and drop that object.
Trying to get him to comply. The man hasn't broken any laws. He's outside his own residence, cleaning. And all they want him to do is comply. If he would have put that down and have a conversation, this would be over. But at the same time, his rights would be totally violated.
Sit down and drop it.
I'm on duty doing my work and my job, and this officer comes over here.
Drop the object.
Just relax. Are you serious? Just relax. Oh, video. Look at that. No, I'm not doing anything.
Have a seat. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it.
Why do you all four of them look?
The police are telling you to do something. Do it.
You have a.
The police is telling you to do something, do it. This damn cocky ass devil. And he probably wouldn't even approach his brother without all those weapons on. Straight up punk, 65. He's a punk.
Gun in your hand.
Yes, I do, because you're not listening.
You have a fucking gun
You
in
have
your
a
hand.
weapon.
I don't have a
Drop
weapon.
the weapon. Drop it.
I don't have a weapon.
Drop it now.
Focus on me. What are you doing? Focus on me. Focus
Drop
on
it
you. There's
now.
fucking 6 of you.
Just drop it.
Really? This is my property.
We're not going anywhere. You need to drop it. I haven't confirmed that yet. I told you I'm investigating a trespass. You didn't give me your address. That's the first time. Have a seat.
Are threatening me on my property. I live here.
Hey, listen.
I'm a resident
The first thing you
of
need to
this
drop
property.
that
I'm
item.
picking up garbage from my fucking dorm. I go to school here.
Drop it. Just
I go
drop
to
it and
school
sit.
here. Don't fucking tell me.
Every cop that arrived at that scene should be either suspended. The one who's with the gun, his hand on his gun, should be fired. But they should have a failure to intervene charges put on them because they were supposed to de-escalate this. When they get there and see this is what's going on, they weren't supposed to back him. They're supposed to de-escalate, call him to the side, say, look, man, you bullshitting. Leave this man alone.
Tell me what to do. You guys don't have a goddamn fucking right to be doing this to me.
Sit down.
I'm a
and drop
citizen
it.
of.
That's the thing. They wanted to escalate. They wanted him to get frustrated, and they really wanted him to get violent to justify shooting him. This is demonic.
This country.
Sit
I
down.
fucking pay my taxes. I am a student, and all of you have weapons drawn, and I
Sit
feel
down.
threatened.
Sit down and drop that
No.
object.
I will not sit down. I refuse to sit down until you guys put your fucking weapons away. All right, watch this. Put your goddamn weapons away. Right there. Can we talk? Put your fucking gun away.
At least 5 new officers arrived on the scene, and what's absolutely dismaying is that every single one of them considered this poor man a threat and pulled out their guns, a man picking up trash. Then, while the arguments continued, another police officer who had entered the building came out and let our friendly cop, Smiley, know how in the wrong he was.
Okay, these nice people here told me that you are a resident.
Oh, wow.
So is
What a
it,
fucking
that's what we were
surprise.
trying to find out. Okay,
What a fucking surprise. I gave him my ID, and then he started taking down my fucking information, telling me this, that, and the other thing. And then I walk away, and he pulls his taser out
So
on me.
Zayd, I'm listening to you, and I just appreciate it. So Zayd, if you were willing to sit down, this would bring everything down a little bit, and we could start.
I think the young man did what he's supposed to do. Don't give up. If you are unlawfully accosted by these cops, stand your motherfucking ground, because they had no reason to be there. And then he called other cops to involve them in his bullshit. If I was a cop and he called me to that, when this scene is over, I'll punch him in his damn face.
I do not feel comfortable sitting down around a bunch of fucking murderers.
Okay.
I gave him my ID. He knew who I was. I said my name was Zayd Atkinson.
Okay.
I gave him my ID. He asked me what the address was. I said, let me walk up to the door and beat myself into the building. And he refused to let me walk to my house.
Okay, Zayd. I'm hearing what
How
you're
is that okay? How is that okay?
I'm understanding you're upset.
What do you mean you're understanding I'm upset? He came out with a shotgun. Of course I'm upset. He pulled out his gun
his weapon.
and said that I'm a
Currently
threat.
trying to get him to comply.
On my own property, I'm a threat because I'm picking up garbage.
Take a step back or two from me so that I can feel.
Why don't you get off my property?
Okay.
Why don't you get off my property?
What I'm trying to resolve.
Why don't you get off my property and stop telling me what to do at my fucking house? How about that?
If you were willing to sit down, we could talk.
I'm not sitting down.
Okay.
Why don't you go home, officer?
Right.
And why don't you guys go find some real criminals instead of wasting my goddamn time? How about that? I fucking live here. You think this is a joke? I fucking live here. You were ready to shoot me down. And you didn't know a goddamn thing. You're wasting all our fucking resources.
I didn't even point my gun
You're
at you,
wasting
sir.
all our resources. There's people out there actually committing crimes.
Like, can I
How do
tell
you
you something?
feel?
Can I
How
tell
do
you something?
feel? You're ready to jump out of your skin because you know you fucking made a dumb mistake today.
Can I tell you something?
No. I don't want to hear it. I
Okay.
want you to get
Why
off
don't
my
you talk
property.
to my partner?
I don't want to talk to any of you.
Right now, I need you to
boys.
sit down
I
so
want
we
you
can
guys to
figure
get
it
off
out.
my property and stop wasting my fucking time.
That's not going to happen until I confirm who you are and what you're doing.
The officer also wanted Atkinson to provide his details, even though he had already confirmed that the young man lived in the house. However, Atkinson refused to cooperate. Shortly afterward, Smiley is seen in conversation with another officer who appears to be his supervisor, discussing the situation.
I saw him sitting here.
Yeah, you need to tell me who the
This
you are.
area saw the
What's your
private
name?
property sign. Maybe he wasn't really doing anything. He's kind of milling about. Then he'd come back down, sit, milling about, come back down to sit. And then when I came into the alley, he stood up and I saw that he had that metal thing. And it looked like he was kind of banging it like against the. So I wasn't sure if he's like trying to damage something or. And then I addressed him, and then
He telling these damn lies as if it's not on camera in its entirety. These motherfuckers are incapable of telling the truth.
proceeded to walk around here, and I saw it was like a device for picking up trash, and he was picking up trash. So I contacted him and just asked him, hey, can I let me chat with you? I'm just checking to make sure that you have a right to be here. And then he initially talks to me, I ask him why he's here, and he says he lives here and works here, and I ask him for the address.
It is absolutely self-explanatory of why that young man was around the building that he lived in. If he can't see that that man was picking up trash, and he can't see that the man gave him a swipe card to the resident, this cop don't even belong outside of a fucking insane asylum.
He turns and reads it off of the building. Okay. And he won't tell me his apartment number. He gives me some kind of school ID.
He do not have to give you any information, including his name. Once you respond to a trespass call, if that even happened, once you see that it's unfounded, you're supposed to get on your radio and clear that call and get the fuck away from that young man and stop bothering him. But no, he wanted to escalate it and perhaps get a body out of the situation.
ID, but it doesn't have a date of birth, so I asked him for his date of birth.
Do you get it?
No, at that point he refuses and he starts walking away. Picks up that metal object and the bucket and walks away from me. I just follow him at a distance until cover gets here. Okay.
After giving his side of the story, which of course is completely different from what we can actually see in the body cam footage, Officer Smiley is notified that everything Atkinson has been declaring is true, as it was confirmed by the owner of the building. To bring something funny out of a disgusting situation like this, Officer Smiley, embarrassed about the situation, immediately muted his body cam when he realized his mistake. The fact remains, however, that if officers can alter recordings, it defeats the whole purpose of putting cameras on a cop in the first place.
So we confirmed that he lives here, right?
It actually should be a felony, automatic felony, if a cop turn off his body camera or mute the body camera. It should be a felony to do that. First, taxpayers paid for it. Secondly, it deletes, it distorts the accountability.
No,
well, you just did.
Okay.
Parker just did. He confirmed that he lives here.
According to him, he lives here. He just provided a unit number. Finally, I don't have a date of birth. I don't know who he is.
Okay. All right. So let's. You got his information in terms of his name and all that.
I just have his name.
Okay. Then give him his ID back, and then we're out of here. Yeah, because we already confirmed he's there, and this gentleman here just said, yeah, he works here and lives here. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he just.
Smiley subsequently resigned from his position before facing suspension or termination, while Boulder agreed to compensate Atkinson with a reported $125,000 settlement for the incident. I personally think he should have received that exact amount from each cop that pulled out their gun. But if you thought
Exactly, he should have received that from each cop.
Cops getting destroyed stops here, that's because you don't know this man. Part-time delivery driver Mac Proctor, who in November 2019 was parked in a non-designated parking spot in a private parking lot in Millbrae, California, when Officer Cordova from a San Francisco canine unit approached him about an alleged parking violation. What unfolded is one of the best proofs of how to act against corrupt cops you'll ever see.
All right, Mr. Proctor. That is his last name. All right. Everything okay?
Do I need to answer any of your questions?
You don't have to answer anything, dude.
Okay.
You don't have to. Lucky you stand here all day. I get paid either way.
Can you go ahead and finish your job so I can carry on?
What's with the anger, dude?
I'm not angry.
You're not angry? You always talk to everybody like that?
I'm not angry.
Oh, okay.
I just want you to go ahead and wrap things up, please.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll give you a break on it, but you know what I'm saying? This isn't a parking spot. Okay, dude?
You're not giving me a break. You're harassing me at this point. I'd like to leave. May I leave now, please?
Well, do you understand?
Am I being detained?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
All right. So do you understand why I stopped you?
Do I need to answer any more of your questions?
You don't have to.
Okay.
Okay. But then again, I could do this all day too.
Okay.
All right. So would you like to leave? Mr. Proctor, would you like to leave?
Do I need to answer any more?
He wants to exercise some power over this man. Would you like to leave while keeping him there? What an asshole.
Your questions?
Hello. No. I'm not the one that's acting this way, okay? I'm just asking you to do,
He's very condescending with his perceived power. Now he know he's aggravating this man. He could just give the man the citation, ticket, warning, break, whatever he's giving him, and allow the man to just go. And as a matter of fact, he didn't stop the man. The man was parked.
I'm trying to give you a break here.
Officer Cordova informs Mac that he is being detained because the location where he is parked is not a parking spot, but we can clearly see traffic flowing in the background while the cop claims he's obstructing traffic. What's even more surprising is that not only was Officer Cordova operating in the wrong area as a San Francisco police officer, but it didn't seem like Mac was breaking any laws that could attract a citation. And funnily enough, for the first time, you will see a citizen actually using his Miranda rights, which explicitly explains that you have the right to remain silent, and everything you say will be used against you. The thing, however, is that police are so used to people speaking right after they read the Miranda rights that they don't know how to react to someone actually shutting up, as is the case here.
I prefer you just write me the parking ticket and let me go.
Right. Okay. Oh, okay. All right, dude. I was trying to be nice to you. All righty. You hold on. Having it right. Yeah. So just let you know what's going on. We're having another guy coming over real quick. Traffic guy with a side book, since you want a ticket. So otherwise, I didn't want to go through all this hassle. You know what I'm saying?
What Officer Cordova just said means no more than the fact that he had nothing better to do than to waste Mac's time. But that didn't stop him from asking more questions and showing us the kind of cop he is.
Is everything okay? Is there any other issues or anything going on that I should know of?
Do I need to answer your questions?
You don't have to answer anything. I'm concerned about your well-being. Is there something wrong?
Do I need to answer any of your questions?
Well, yeah, if there's something wrong, it would be nice, yeah.
Do I need to answer any of your questions?
You don't have to talk to me. I'm saying I'm just concerned about your well-being. That's all I'm saying. Usually we don't get people hostile.
I've not been hostile.
Okay.
We cannot say for sure how much training Officer Cordova had in social interactions, but it's certain that he can't see the difference between a hostile person and a person who is intelligent. Or maybe it is because he knows that what he's doing is not right, and it's just avoiding the blame.
Oh, usually we don't get people wanting a ticket. You know what I'm saying? I'm going through all this. I could be having my lunch right now. All right, dude. Well, we'll be waiting, dude. Hurry up, dude. It's coming my lunchtime. Hey, Mr. Proctor, can I give you your stuff so you can leave?
Can you?
I can, but you're the one. I would have let you go a long time ago.
What do I need to do for you to hand me my documents so I can...
Then why he just give the man his shit and let him go then? What a piece of shit.
Leave. Right now, I just want to know that you're okay, because usually I don't get people all this.
What do I need to do for you to hand me my documents so I can be on my way?
You're okay.
I don't need to answer any of your questions.
Hey, there we go again. Jesus Christ. You know? I'm trying to say that...
You're trying to display your power to me right now.
I'm concerned about it. Is there a problem to be concerned about another human being?
You have no reason to be concerned about me.
So it's okay then. You're okay then.
You can hand me my documents and I can be on my way. Or we can...
Okay. So if I hand you your stuff, you'll be fine and taken off and you're not angry, right? You're not gonna... Okay, here, I tell you what. I'm gonna take a chance on you, all right? Here. Mr. Proctor, you got everything's cool, all right? We're blocking traffic. Here's your stuff. All right, hopefully you have a good day. Everything works out for you. All right?
Am I free to leave now?
Yes, you are.
Could you please step away from the vehicle?
Yes, I will. You have a good day.
After much back and forth, Officer Cordova finally returns Mac's documents, and Mac starts his vehicle and leaves the scene. It's honestly shocking that so many police officers don't even know what is or isn't legal, and worse, the fact that when one uses his rights that they themselves explain to you, they treat you like the villain. In another video, Mac explained what happened after he left the scene and how he wasn't able to get the officer's name.
I didn't even know what his name was. I never got a citation. I'm not a First Amendment auditor, so I didn't think to go, name and badge number, please. So I've even gone back and watched the video and thought, can I just get his name off of his uniform? And I can't really see it clearly. So I was in such a hurry to break communication with him and get on with my day. He was costing me money, that he was willing to go through such great lengths as to have somebody else bring a cite book to him from across town. I was like, this guy's crazy. What is he going to try and do here? Because he
was out of his jurisdiction, so he called people from the jurisdiction to come and bring a citation book. He can't give you a citation from his book because it would prove that he's giving out tickets out of his jurisdiction. He couldn't give the man a ticket. He couldn't give it to him. So he called somebody from that municipality to come over to bring a citation, which is a violation.
He's not got some criminal.
During the stop, Officer Cordova violated multiple fundamental rights and was very lucky that Mac did not file a complaint. But Mac wasn't the only one who had to deal with corrupt cops in his car.
Write me a ticket so I can go by my way. I'm not stepping out the vehicle, bro. I didn't do nothing. I didn't do absolutely nothing.
This driver, on May 19th, 2023, was trying to navigate his way through some traffic when an officer from the Cumberland Police Department pulled him over. However, the officer extends the stop by waiting for a canine unit to arrive, which obviously gets a rise out of the man.
What for what? Have I been suspected of committing a crime?
We can scan any vehicle we want as long as.
But have I suspected of committing a crime?
For a legal reason. So
that's a traffic stop. That's a traffic issue.
Do me a favor, step out of the vehicle.
Write me a ticket so I can go by my way. I'm not stepping out the vehicle, bro. I didn't do nothing. I didn't do absolutely nothing. If you pull me out this vehicle, I'm gonna file a lawsuit, bro. You violate my rights.
If you don't step out, I will
I'm telling you. Well, you're gonna have to take me out. I'm not legally getting out my vehicle when I haven't done anything wrong. Absolutely nothing. I was pulled over the other morning going to work for my headlight, right? I fixed it. You want to check it? I fixed it. If you can pull that up, I fixed the headlight. I just came from my house, get gas, got me a soda, got my oil change. I seen you pulling to the fucking sheets, eyeballing the car the whole time. I don't know why y'all keep pulling me over. I'm out here working because I'm in a fucking union. That's why I got Mississippi tag. That's the whole reason you pulling me over. I drive the other car, you pull me over in it. You pull my old lady over in it.
All right, well, if you
it's just ridiculous.
Getting pulled over by the police multiple times can be incredibly frustrating, especially in this case, where it seems again to be because of racial profiling. It's no surprise that the driver isn't letting the officer have his way. After a lengthy argument, the man finally reached his breaking point and decided he couldn't take it anymore.
I want to speak to your supervisor, please. Call your supervisor. Call your supervisor. Call your supervisor. I'm telling you, pull me out the car, you fucking up. That's all I'm telling you. My people's working McLean and McLean, Virginia. I'm telling you, you pull me out the car, you fucking up. You're making a big mistake.
Well, the issue is
you're making a big mistake.
For a legal reason.
You stopped me because you said I pulled up. No, you didn't come to the car. You didn't come to the car and said, sir, you smell like alcohol. You smell like marijuana. None of that. None of that. You just go to your car telling me you pulling me over for a traffic stop. Go to your car and then 10 police pull up like I'm supposed to be scared or something. I done been through this plenty in my life. I'm not stepping out of shit. I'm not stepping out of shit. That's my right, dude. You don't know your fucking, you don't. I'm done talking. I'm done talking. I'm not stepping out of shit.
No.
No.
Okay.
Give me your supervisor. Let me and him talk. All right, cool. Your sergeant, whoever's in charge. It's bullshit. I'm not stepping out of shit. Once I step out of the vehicle, I lose my right. I'm not fucking stupid.
The driver requested to speak with the officer's supervisor because he believed he was being treated unfairly. What's even more surprising is that all throughout their argument, the officer did not for once mention what traffic code the driver violated, showing that these officers' actions were absolutely malign.
I'm not getting out the car, man. I ain't did nothing. What you want me to, do I have a warrant? All right then. I ain't did nothing.
Listen,
I haven't did nothing.
to me, and I'll explain this.
I'm listening.
The reason we want you out of the vehicle is because it is their policy that the occupants of the vehicle have to be out of the vehicle while they do the canine scan.
What they doing the canine scan for?
We can scan any vehicle.
For what? So why didn't the lady that pulled me over the other morning, why didn't she do the same process?
I have no idea. I wasn't there.
And my headlight was out.
They want him to step out of his car illegally so they can do a illegally canine search. Yeah, you know, they got like a more severely cussing out than this brother's doing. There's no way in hell I would step out my vehicle illegally so they can do something even further illegal.
And I haven't done anything.
Even when approached by another officer, the man refused to exit the vehicle.
Dog ain't alert nothing. He came to the... They pulled me over for, it's just an illegal stop, sir. If you're the sergeant or lieutenant, he said he pulled me over because I didn't stop coming.
All this talking and asking this man to step out of his vehicle still didn't tell him why he pulled him over. No penal code, no type of traffic violation code or nothing. Just step out the vehicle.
Now the sheet switch is stupid. There's traffic coming. Why wouldn't I stop, sir? Why wouldn't I stop?
Do me a favor. Take the keys out of your
First of all, he pulled in looking at my vehicle while I'm pumping gas. Are you the sergeant?
If he stopped you for not stopping, that's the problem cause for what we're doing.
This is a traffic stop. Why can't he just write me a ticket and I go by my way? For what though? For what is the reason? Drugs? Okay, but he haven't said anything about drugs when he comes to the car. He never said once he suspected me doing anything, sir.
Why is it necessary
Nothing.
for us to argue about this?
It's not
If you have nothing in
because if I'm telling you I have done anything wrong and he's saying that I have, it's his word against mine. I haven't done anything.
So then if you have nothing,
Absolutely
to worry
nothing.
about, you can let them do their job here.
So just comply. That's what these devils want. Just compliance. You can do anything they tell you to do. They stop you anytime they want, and you just gotta listen to them and do what they tell you. That's crazy.
And you can go about your business.
They can scan the car around. I'm not getting out though.
Once the dog alerts,
They get it ain't gonna alert. Well, that's you just automatically saying the dog's gonna alert.
The right to refuse a search is a fundamental right of any citizen. So the officer saying if he has nothing to hide and as a result he should be searched is complete nonsense. Even though the police never told the driver what he was suspected of, they still went ahead to scan his vehicle.
There's nothing in the vehicle, so you're just gonna want to violate my rights. Go ahead and violate them. Yes, it is. You just gonna violate the right. You can open the back door and let them in if you want. You can open the door and let them in.
Exactly, Jewel 512.
They certainly put the K9 around the car, y'all.
Fourth Amendment rights.
What reason? I don't know. Didn't say anything about nothing when he pulled me over, but all of a sudden he wanted me out of my vehicle to search my car when I have done anything wrong. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
They didn't get no rides either. Not nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
For searching.
This is my work vehicle.
Search.
I fish in it. I work on people's shit. I just got an oil change. Look, just got an oil change just 10 minutes ago. And he gonna tell me I pull out of the sheets without stopping when there's fucking oncoming traffic. What sense does that make? You tell me. This is America we living in, right?
Just as the man explains, the police didn't have anything that allowed them to
Had no
search his car,
rides.
and yet they did, and attempted to justify their actions, even though there was no valid reason to do it.
Shouldn't have to fucking go through. I didn't go to work because I was fucking sick today. Went and got blood work and shit done, got my oil changed, and now I have to deal with some stupid shit like this. Cumberland PD. No wonder they got the petition out on that ass officer, whoever the fuck he is. It's gonna be some more. So lawsuit coming. Free fucking money.
What's more telling, however, is the fact that citizens still need to protect themselves by recording their interactions. Otherwise, who knows what can happen? And to confirm what the man had been saying, he was later joined by the K9 officer, who said he was free to go.
I'm the K9 guy.
Yep.
I just scanned the vehicle.
He alerted, didn't he?
No.
Yeah, because obviously now, because I mentioned he didn't. It's bullshit, man. Nothing against you personally. Nothing at all. It's just the way y'all treat people out here for absolutely nothing is fucking ridiculous. And it has nothing to do with you personally.
Careful.
Fuck that.
Got a bus coming through.
What's your name, sir?
Baluch, Baluch.
He's been cool. You can finish what you was telling me.
So
Sorry.
all good, bro.
Cut you off, bro.
So like I said, dog didn't alert to the vehicle, but I always interview anybody after I scan, whether the dog alerts or not.
Yeah.
Just because I want to make sure the dog is doing what he's supposed to. So there's never been any drugs in the car, nothing like that.
No.
All right.
No drugs in the car, sir. This is my work car.
As far as the dog stuff, you're done. They just have to finish your warning or whatever they're doing, and then
Thank you, sir. No, they don't need to give me no warning. He need to write me a fucking ticket. Because they keep giving me warnings, but he keeps saying I keep violating the law.
So what's your warning here?
That's another warning.
Because I don't write
I've
tickets.
done nothing.
I don't feel like police
Another warning.
writing
He-
tickets, but here's your
See, that's the thing. They don't want to give him a ticket because they don't want to go to court. If he go and petition that ticket and show the body cam footage, he's in a lot of fucking trouble. That's why they're giving him a warning. They give you warnings because you don't have to show. You don't have to pay for a warning. You have to go to court for a warning. But they gave him a ticket, he would have to go to court or pay it. But judging how this brother is talking and his demeanor, he'll probably fight it, which he should. See, they'll stop him several times and just give him warnings, just to harass him.
Here's your warning.
Yep.
Here's your information back.
Yep.
Have a good day.
Yep. I'm on my way to the precinct now. God damn it. File me a lawsuit.
Notice how sulky the officer who initiated the stop looked. It is certain that he didn't like how the driver was set free with only a warning, and that's definitely not a good sign for us citizens. And talking about bad signs, this case will make you wonder whether the police are there to help you or not.
That's some dude inside. Oh, you're getting really close, man.
Oh, yeah. I like to get close. I like to talk to people.
Can you stop?
No, sir. I want to talk to you. What's going on, my friend?
This is Joshua Roberts, who, on September the 9th, 2022, was filming outside a store when two unknown men suddenly began to approach him. And as many of you would expect, it didn't take long for the situation to escalate.
Can I help you?
No, can you help us?
Yo, get away from me, buddy.
No, dude. Who are you?
Away from me, dude.
Why are you here?
Back the.
Why are you here?
I suggest you leave me alone.
You're on private property.
I suggest you do something about that then and get back inside.
Ooh. Really?
Yeah, really. You like going around people like this?
You know
think
what?
that's fun? Don't touch my buddy.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, so do it. What? Touch it. That's on camera. Back the.
What are we doing here?
Back the off, buddy. You touch. You get tased. Get the back inside.
Coming at people aggressively and trying to grab their phone from them, as in this case with Robert, is obviously assault, so it is not surprising that he took out his taser to protect himself. However, that didn't stop the men from pointing fingers at Robert.
Get in my face. I'll do something, buddy. Get inside.
Call 911.
Get inside.
Call the sheriff's department.
Whoa, dude. Whoa, dude. You just come up and grab people? The is wrong with you? Your homie did.
Don't he's my homie. This is private property. You say you're filming.
This is an easement. I'm not on your property. You see that? That belongs to the city.
The men accused Roberts of trespassing, but he mentioned that it was an easement area. For those who don't know, easement grants someone the legal right to use another's property for a specific purpose without ownership. But the men didn't care about all that and decided to call the cops. And of course, everything just got worse.
What's going on, bud? Oh, nothing. Just getting assaulted out here. That's about it.
Getting assaulted?
Yeah, by one of their workers.
What happened?
I was just out here taking some pictures, and one of the guys came out here saying he didn't want to be filmed, and he ran up to me, started circling me, grabbed my camera, started pushing up on me, and it's all videotaped.
You have it on video?
Oh, it's all recorded. Because I do want to press charges on him.
Was there something involving the taser?
Oh, I pulled it out in self-defense.
Okay.
When you come out at me like that and you're about to destroy my stuff and do bodily harm to me, you're right, I'm going to pull a taser on someone. You need to tell that guy he needs to not put hands on people. It's a short little fat guy.
I'm gonna address it. Okay?
Oh, yeah, we're going to do a report on him, too.
That's fine. I just need to give this deputy your information for me, all right? You have an ID or something?
I don't have an ID.
After the police arrive, they appear cooperative and neutral, but then Robert does something that completely changes the situation for him.
Yeah, buddy, you're going to learn you can't come outside and grab people, man. That ain't right.
While we're handling this, don't yell. You're just all right. Cause him to get up.
Is it free speech? Am I allowed to say stuff?
Well, you have freedom of speech, but it's also.
He just want him to comply to something, some type of direction. They love barking orders at people. Even if the orders don't make no sense, he gonna come over here and tell this man after they came out and aggravated him that he can't say something. Don't yell. If the man have the right to remain silent, he have the right to talk too.
Also something called breach of peace.
Okay, I'd like to see you try that, buddy. Those people put hands on me. I'm the victim. So you want to turn it around on me?
I'm not turning it around.
Please do so.
What I'm telling you is,
you guys are known to be the biggest pieces in South Carolina. What did I do wrong?
Are you gonna let me talk?
Go on ahead.
What I was saying is, I don't need you yelling while I'm trying to talk to this man, because that's gonna cause him to yell, cause a scene. You get mad, he's gonna get mad, then it escalates.
Okay,
just talk to this deputy.
Let me tell you something. I'm allowed to say whatever the hell I want.
If you yell across this parking lot while you have all these people standing around, that is called breach of peace.
You want to try that, buddy?
I will lock you up.
You want to try that?
Yes, I will.
Although Robert's actions might be deemed as a breach of peace when he was talking to the workers, a term which means disrupting public order or causing a disturbance, what he said to the officer was definitely not a breach of peace. The officers then conducted their investigation, but, as you would expect, did the opposite of what they should have done.
Hi, Mr. Roberts. I spoke with the two gentlemen that came out, and all their information is going to be entered into the report, as well as your statement you gave this deputy. I made them aware that, yes, you can view video from a public area, which the roadway is public. But if you cross over into the
I've checked the property lines. I don't need directives.
They always come trying to give directives as if you don't know that, which is the reason why the man is standing on the public easement recording. But they want to just give you instructions and bark orders at you, even if you know what you're doing.
If you go on the property, you're going to go to jail.
If you smoke crack, that's not good, man. All right, do I get a report or something?
You're going to get you one.
Oh, great, this guy.
Here you go, buddy. All right, my name, badge number beside it, and your case number as well. You can get a copy of the report 35 minutes later.
And when everything could have ended right here, more officers arrive on the scene, and Roberts is approached by one of them. However, it is not for the reasons you might think.
How you doing, sir? How you doing, sir?
Nothing to do.
Not too good.
Wow, what's going on today, buddy?
I had some dude inside. Oh, you're getting really close, man.
Oh, yeah, I like to get close. I like to talk to people.
Can you stop?
No, sir.
So
I want to talk to you. What's going on, my friend?
Stop getting so close to me, dude.
What's going on, man?
Dude, stop approaching me.
Sir, I'm allowed.
Off, dude.
Okay.
Give me some space, dude.
Go ahead and turn.
Give me some space,
Put your hand
dude.
behind your back.
No, give me some. Ow! Oh.
Behind your back.
What? For what? For you?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Very nice, dude. Very nice.
He's a piece of shit.
Enjoy the lawsuit. Enjoy pay.
Just like I said, to everybody who hate the police, they absolutely earn the hate.
For my camera, too.
Absolutely. You getting resisting arrest?
Resisting. I'm not moving.
Nope. When I went to put my hands on you, you pulled away from me.
Yeah, because you have no right to arrest me.
Sir, you're
He said, when I went to put my hands on you, you moved away from me. If you are arresting him, you're supposed to walk up to him and say that you're under arrest. If anybody who walk up to me and just put their hands on me is going to get some earth, straight up earth slam, regardless of who you are. You just don't walk up on somebody putting your hands on them. Especially when I don't like people touching me.
You're under arrest. You have the right to attorney
You
have
kept
him or
approaching me.
Sir, you have the right to attorney have him or present before any questions are asked. You decide any time to exercise his rights and not make any more statements. Do you understand these rights?
I don't answer any more questions without a lawyer present.
Absolutely.
The officer, later identified as Sergeant Morrison, gave no warning before tackling Roberts to the ground and accusing him of breach of peace. However, Morrison did not state that Roberts was being arrested before putting him in handcuffs. As a result, Roberts cannot be charged for resisting arrest, nor should he be arrested in the first place. Later, Roberts filed a written complaint and an internal investigation was opened, which determined numerous FCSO policy violations during the incident. After the investigation, Morrison resigned and is no longer employed by the sheriff's office, which is no surprise in these situations. If you think that these cops should get worse punishment, don't forget to subscribe and check out this video. Goodbye.
Yeah, they should be punished a whole lot worse. I'm not going to say what they deserve, but they should be punished a whole lot worse.
Please come with your hands up.
It's your hands, ma'am. Hands.
Step out, show us your hands.
It's the police.
Step out, show us your hands. Who else is with you? Come on. Come back. Hey, step out, your hands up, sir.
Body-worn camera video shows Tampa police ordering Miami-Dade Police Director Freddie Ramirez and his wife, Jody, to step out of their hotel room on Sunday, July 23rd.
You know, I'm the director of Miami-Dade Police.
Now, this is the last video, yet it's the main reason why police officers eat their gun, take their own lives. This right here.
I have no idea what's going on, bro.
No, who called the cops?
Ramirez handcuffed after officers got a call about a man at the hotel threatening himself with a gun.
I didn't do anything, so I don't understand.
His wife, Jody, down the hall being questioned by officers after she says they got into an argument.
The argument started downstairs. Yes. Out on the street? Yes. Okay. From there, it came up here and it continued. Yes. Did it get physical at any point? No.
His wife tells officers she'd been drinking, but says she doesn't remember Ramirez making any threats or pulling a gun.
If I felt in danger, I would not be in this situation. I promise you.
Ramirez was released from his handcuffs shortly after that when police determined he wasn't a threat to himself or to anyone else. But it was just a few hours later when he and his wife were driving back to Miami that the director pulled over on the side of the road and shot himself in the head. His wife made this frantic call for help.
Oh my God.
Okay, listen, I need don't run after him. I need you to stay away from him.
No, I need your help and I need it now.
Ramirez's wife Jody was on the phone with a dispatcher on the side of I-75 south of Tampa. The two were in Tampa for a law enforcement conference. On the call, dispatchers asked about the gun just used.
Okay, is he awake?
Yes, please help me, please.
Okay, where, ma'am, we already have help. We already have help dispatched. I need you to listen to me so we can help him. Where's the gun?
It's here in the car.
Okay.
It's on the console.
Details about what happened before they got on the road are laid out in this 22-page incident report. It states when officers got to the hotel, a verbal argument could be heard in the hallway between an unknown male and a female, but no specific threats were heard by officers. His wife told officers she wasn't hurt. The report stating the female subject stated that she and her husband were just having an argument and they knew how to push each other's buttons. The female subject stated that's why the argument got so heated. During the 911 call, Jody tells dispatchers Ramirez wouldn't let her help him.
I need you to get a clean, dry cloth or towel or a T-shirt or something so we can put it on the wound and try to control the bleeding.
He's not letting me.
Okay, well, if it's, I want to make sure you stay safe. So if it's going to cause you problems, you need to get away from him.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.
Now, most of these cops, when they realize that the authorities that they work for have investigated them and they're in some corruption, whether it's a crew of them or an individual, rather than be brought to justice, they'll rather die, some of them. Now, there was a cop in my area years ago who, there was two of them. They were running a brothel and they were selling drugs. When the authorities was close to them, one shot his vest and tried to go out on a mental illness clause so he could retire early. Both were detectives, both were anti-crime unit, narcos, both of them. One was a lieutenant, one was I believe, a sergeant. And one shot his vest. What was crazy about it, the police were snatching up brothers because he gave a description of who shot him, but he shot his own vest. But I guess he wasn't thinking, because the first thing they do is run the vest, through ballistics and run, run their guns through ballistics. to make sure it wasn't self-inflicted. Turns out it was self-inflicted. Well, both of them subsequently got convicted of their crimes, but got slaps on the wrist. If it was us who was doing what they was doing. As a matter of fact, this guy that shot his vest was recruiting brothers to sell drugs, taking drugs from other drug dealers and putting it out there for himself. And he was soliciting unwanted people who didn't want to sell drugs, making them sell the drugs. If they didn't sell the drugs, he would set them up. He threatened to set them up and put them in jail. So they reluctantly did it. And he was also giving them the schedules of when the narcos was going to be out so they can sell the drugs without being caught. And he was keeping them alert of when the narcos was going to be out. But this brother didn't want to do it, so he went to somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody. But once you get out of that jurisdiction, he went from the state police to the FBI. Once the FBI got on it, that's when everything started unfolding and coming down on them. And both of them, was convicted. And let's see if I can find some footage of that. I think I'm gonna do a story on that, being it's so local. Both of them got slaps on the wrist. And the ironic thing about that is that police officer in question is a drug counselor now. The mockery of it all, brothers and sisters. He's a drug counselor now. When he got out, he became a drug counselor. Crazy. But I hope this information was informative, pertinent, just information. But again, the hate that these guys have, that they receive from the people, it's earned. It's earned hate. It's not unsolicited, because when you're out here under the guise of serving and protecting, and you're doing what they do on a daily basis all over the nation, they earn their hate. And their stress is unsolicited. And we shouldn't even care about their stress, because it's like this. Certain people in certain neighborhoods feel safe when the police drive by. Certain people, they feel safe when the police drive by. But some of us, even if we're doing absolutely nothing, never broken a law in our life, most of us cringe when we see the cops. Why? Because we know what they do. We know what they're capable of. Under the guise of law enforcement, and you will have to fight tooth and nail to get out of something that you didn't do. All this litigating, a lawyer, and then, if you don't have a paid lawyer, your fight is even worse, because all the public defender does is try to get you to plea. A court-appointed lawyer, unless he's a benevolent person or she's a benevolent person, is going to try to get you to plea. If they're benevolent, they're going to fight. Because I've seen court-appointed lawyers go in and fight for their clients and win. But most of the time, they try to get you to plead. Before I go, I want to play one more music selection by the brother Dre Cobbs, if I can find it. I hope that this information, was pertinent to you. I don't wish, death on anybody. I'm not going, I take that back because there's some people that don't belong here. And that's just the truth. I'm going to be real with you. There's some people who absolutely don't belong here. Shouldn't be in our society. I can't find that footage. This device is acting up. So I'm going to land right here and start thanking your family for coming through. King Samu, Jewel 512. The brother Blue. Salute to you, brothers. Good seeing you. We got to do a build together. Executive Sessions 420. Salute to you, good brother. Salute, respect to Monique Hill. My brother, Greedy Vegan. Salute to you, family. The big brother, Big Dog Philly OG. Key Norfolk. Thank you, brothers, for coming up. I appreciate it. St. Louis, Hurricane JW. Thanks for coming up. The good brother, Keith West. Thank you for coming through. The brother, Bronze Flat Power God. Stephanie Burke, thanks for coming through. Appreciate it. Ghetto Child Clinic, thanks for coming through. I appreciate everyone for their attendance. I thank the brothers, Key Norfolk and Big Dog Philly OG, for their contribution to the stream. As we walking through this, this wilderness of North America, everybody walk with their head on a swivel. Watch out for yourself. If you see a brother or sister, don't mean mug them. Give them the nod. Let them know that you got them. 9 times out of 10, when you give them the nod, they give you the nod back. Let them know that you're one of those soldiers that's out here on their behalf, serving our people. This is your brother, Nasir, and this is the Enemy's Public. Like, share, subscribe. And if you watch the playback, leave a comment in the comment section. Peace. A once gold-driven, ambitious Sapphire turns to the street life after the sudden death of her big brother Dre. Dre's best friend Devontae tries to honor his homeboy's last request of looking out for his baby sister. A rebellious Sapphire makes it very difficult for Devontae to carry out his promise. Author Angela King James presents Fire. Get it on Amazon, on paperback, or Kindle.
Yo, the enemy's public, I gotta keep my eyes open. Pay attention, stop walking around like you blindfolded. This not the World Cup, but Nasir be kicking knowledge. This the type of information you can never learn in college. It's time to fight back, it's no more trying to play it cool. We got interviews, podcasts, and got the latest news. So sit back and relax, we about to get it started. Earth is a canvas, and guess who's the con artist? They brainwashing us, the system corrupted. You are now rocking with the enemy's public. You are now rocking with the enemy's public. I said you are now rocking with the enemy's public. Hey.
Enemy public, I saw your thing on YouTube, man. Keep doing your thing, bro.